Did you guys know about the Creature Crate Patreon? Every month you'll get amazing files that you can make, like this Donkey Kong, this dragon, this robot tech scarab, this Cerberus, or this super cool set of Bulbasaurs. You can also sell the prints from these files as an authorized seller. Join the Creature Crate Patreon now. Link is in the description below. Hey guys, what's up? Nico again here, and in this super cool, awesome episode of 3D Printer Profits, I got my good friend Aaron, who has been, man, how long have we been on? Have we known each other, man? 2 years?
I think it's been almost about 5 years.
About 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So Aaron and I first met when I first started Nico Industries,
Mhm.
and Aaron had started Galactic Armory, which is what we're going to be diving into today. And so we're just going to dive into Aaron's business. We're not going to talk about numbers, anything like that. We're going to talk about how he built it, how he got started, so on and so forth, to help you guys start your own 3D printing business. Which, by the way, before we start, I'd like to invite everybody to join us in the 3D Printing Side Hustle Facebook group. The link for that is in the description below. And all of Aaron's links is going to be in the description below as well. If you're on YouTube and on your favorite podcast player, is going to be in the show notes. So, Aaron, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad to be here.
Dude, so let's get started here. What is your background before, because I know you're full-time to the business now, right?
hmm
So what were you doing while it was still a side hustle?
So back in probably 2017, I was working as a software developer. I was fresh out of college. Did that for about 4 years before making the jump to full-time 3D printing.
Sweet, man. So how did you get into 3D printing?
To be honest, it was, do you remember way back the like fidget spinner craze?
Yeah.
It was, and I'm cringing to say this, but it was to make and sell those fidget spinners. I saw that people were 3D printing them because there was a while where people couldn't keep up with demand. So I'm like, let me get a printer and start making these things. And I made them and sold them, and kind of just took off from there.
So you initially got into 3D printing for the business aspect immediately.
Yes, I wanted to make cool movie props, but started out by selling what was in demand at the time. So it's kind of a way to finance my personal hobbies. And
there you go. So you just jumped on the trend and got on it.
Mhm.
Okay. So because you are full-time now, we can say that your income now has far surpassed your income from a software developer.
Mhm. There was a point where I was, doing both at the same time. Eventually, as the profits from 3D printing started to rival that of my normal 9-to-5 job, I made that transition and made that jump and left my full-time job in May of 2020.
Ah, there you go. Mine was last year. So you jumped in before I did.
Okay.
Right before I did. Yeah. Cool, man. So what is it that you do now, and what is it that you guys sell?
So I kind of try and do it all. So we sell the 3D print files, the physical 3D prints themselves. We run our own YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all those different channels, and kind of focus on tutorial videos on teaching people how to finish their own helmets and how to finish their own props, and kind of do it that way. But the big two are selling the files and the physical prints.
Awesome. So I know your YouTube, one of your videos just went bonkers. It went viral. I was so jealous. I was like, his video has how many views? I was texting Uncle Jesse. Shout out to Uncle Jesse. I was like,
yeah,
dude, did you see his video? And we were like, man, we were so happy for you. I was jealous. I was like, oh my God, why not me? So you have several income streams, including YouTube then, correct?
So YouTube and like Instagram and TikTok, all considerably less than, the usual storefront, but it,
Sure.
adds up over time for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how did you get your first customers and your first clients for this current business, not the fidget spinners, for this one, for Galactic Armory?
So It started out as a hobby, and I was just kind of posting stuff on social medias and Reddit. And eventually, one of my posts on Reddit, it way blew up, and people were messaging me like, "How do I get this? Can you make me one?" And so I'm like, okay, I have all these people messaging me. I need to open some kind of storefront. And so started out on Etsy selling basically one thing, but sold enough of those to, afford another printer, and then kind of ballooned from there. But started out just posting on social media, a lot of different Facebook groups. It was a different time back then. Not so many people had 3D printers, but that is where I got started.
So after you got that first sale, right? After you put up that one item, what happened
Mhm.
next?
So yeah, lots of people messaged me asking me to make them one, and I couldn't keep up with the one printer that I had. So kind of just slowly, incrementally bought one more printer at a time until eventually I had about 12 in my one bedroom apartment. It was loud, it was hot, it was messy, but tried everything I could to make it work.
Dude, that's awesome, man. So did you just so how, you started off with one, went to 12 for your one bedroom. How many are you up to now?
Right now we're up to about 80 in our warehouse. So
So far, you are the most. You guys have the most. I know on your Instagram posts, on your TikTok posts,
Mhm.
you always show the warehouse, right? You have
Mhm.
your own building now, which is
Yep.
phenomenal. And you
It was a
always
game
show your
changer
print
for
farm,
real.
and I'm just like, oh my God.
When we had them in the basement of our house, we got up to around 30, and it just skyrocketed our electric bill. Because if you think like in the dead of summer, all those printers running and all
Hmm.
those heated beds generate a lot of heat and use a lot of electricity, and the house is trying to air condition them all down, and it was madness. But eventually grew to the point where I could afford my own space, and it's been a game changer.
Dude, that's so awesome. That's so cool, man. I'm so proud of you. I'm just
Mhm.
congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
Um,
That's probably my favorite part about 3D printing as a business. A lot of businesses you got to spend 20, $30,000 in upfront costs. But for 3D printers, if you have a single 3D printer that you get for a couple $100, you can start selling stuff right away.
oh yeah,
The barrier to entry is very, very low compared to
extremely low.
a
And
lot
a
of
lot
other
of people don't know
businesses.
that. I
And
think 3D printing is going to be the next drop shipping, the next Amazon FBA. You know,
and
that's going to be the next.
the opportunities for individual niches is basically unlimited. If you have a certain category of media or tools or whatever you make, there's a niche for it, and you can 3D print things for it and sell it.
I
So
agree, man.
not only is the barrier to entry low, but there is so many different ways you could take it.
It's honestly virtually infinite,
Hmm.
right? Maybe infinite's not the word, but it's a lot.
There is a lot.
You'll find your niche in
Hmm.
3D printing.
And we're still kind of in the early days of it.
I agree. I think we're still in the infancy of it.
Mhm.
So what machines are you running in that 80 machine farm?
So right now I run mostly CR10 V2s.
Good man.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the CR10s. That's what I filled my apartments with. Eventually, I ran those machines, to the ground. Uh, Eventually upgraded to the CR10 V2s, and uh, I like those a lot. So I try and buy as many as I can, and kind of just keep them on hand, because printers like to, uh, iterate and come out with
Gotcha.
new versions. And
Where are you
sometimes,
getting these machines? Are you getting them from Chris, the Tiny Machines?
no, I usually get them from like the Creality website. I think that's the only place that still sells the V2 now. So I'm
Gotcha.
I'm I'm kind of almost at the point where nobody's making them anymore. I'm gonna have to find another printer to fill out the space with, but that's what I use for now.
With props and large prints, I think the CR10 Max or the CR Max, I think it's 450 by 450 by 450.
Hmm.
It's a slightly bigger than the CR10 S4, which is what I have, and I love my S4s. These guys are
Oh yeah,
workhorses.
yeah. Like I've ran some of those printers for years now, and on some of them, never had a problem.
Yep. And if they do break, it's you just got to. Normally, it's just the motors you have to change out. Either the
Hmm.
motors or the hot end assembly.
Hmm.
So what struggles did you have when you first started in the business?
Honestly, it was keeping up with demand. I
What a
mean,
problem.
yeah, the best problem to have. But I was in my 1 bedroom apartment, and uh, I had 13 printers, but once I hooked up that 13th one, it would flip the breaker of my whole apartment because I was
Oh,
using
and
too
everything
much.
just died. Oh,
Yeah, that
sheesh.
was heartbreaking. And so we moved to our 2 bedroom apartment, and I could split out all the machines on 2 different circuits. And then the house, we ended up putting in 2 more additional circuits and wiring it up all that way. But yeah, keeping up and making a good name and uh, presence for yourself on social media and in the community, really.
Gotcha. So what social media outlets did you mainly use when you were first building your business?
When I was first starting out, it was mainly just YouTube. I would make YouTube tutorials and eventually got to the point where I was designing my own files, but I would take those files and make a YouTube tutorial on them and be like, hey, if you have a 3D printer, you can do this project yourself with these files that I sell, or you can get a DIY kit from these kits that I sell. So I could promote both my files and my kits in the same YouTube video. And if people have a tutorial for something, they're a lot more willing to start a project like that.
Absolutely brilliant, man. And so when you started designing your files, what software are you using for design?
So started out
Say
learning
Blender.
because
Say Blender.
it wasn't Blender. I wish. It's so good. But I was in computer science as my major and a programmer by trade, but didn't know jack about modeling. So started out in Fusion 360. It's pretty good, but pretty simple. Did kind of some rough shapes in that. Eventually jumped to 3ds Max by Autodesk and use that
Gotcha.
to this day.
Awesome, man. So let's go back to the machinery here. I forgot to ask you what filament are you using?
I use Xyltech PLA. Got a shipment for it today of about like a
I saw the
thousand
post.
pounds.
I was like,
Yeah.
geez, that's how to count. Like
Yeah,
I know there's 10 in that box.
yeah,
I think four
we
or
love
five hundred
filament shipment
spools is what
day.
you just ordered, wasn't it?
What's that?
I think you just ordered like 300 to 500 spools is what you just ordered.
It was 85 kilogram rolls and 51 kilogram rolls.
See, dude,
So I can't do fast math, but it was a lot.
a lot of boxes there. So how else did the business make money? Do you guys have design services? What about or like print services?
So yeah, we do sell the physical 3D prints, the files. Sometimes I'll take on commissions. It's pretty rare just because we only have so much time to make files. And if I'm, doing a commission for something that's really obscure, really random, that's less time to focus on other things. I've been moving to a Patreon model, very similar to yourself, where you release all of your new files monthly. And if people are signed up, then they get all the new files. And with that, they get our blessing to start their own print shops and sell their own prints from the files.
Awesome, man. So what profit margin are you targeting for these kits? Because I know they don't come painted, right? They put them together.
So usually it's not so much a profit margin as it is like a dollar amount per printer hour.
Okay, so what are you charging for that?
Usually it's about $1 an hour. So if a print takes 60 hours from start to finish, that'd be a $60 print.
Okay. And you're not losing money with that calculation?
No. So let's say
is it because it makes up for it in volume?
Well, let's take a helmet, for example. A helmet you could probably make in like 100 to 150 hours with only about 1.5 kilograms of filament. So the physical material cost is pretty low. It's only about $30. But that is one that assumes it gets it right on the first time and you don't have a printer failure. Two, it adds in the wear and tear on your machine and electricity, and all those things kind of add into it. But with all that included, it's about 60 to 70 cents per hour of cost.
Okay.
So there's about a 30 cent gap in there.
Got it. Okay. All right. And have you guys tried to do anything to increase sales, like free shipping or Facebook ads or anything like that?
Free shipping was a big one. I noticed a considerable uptick in sales on Etsy when we first started out, shipping out helmets, offering free shipping. That was a big one. Getting into some more advertising, started doing like Etsy ads, working on a kind of a commercial that shows off some of the files that we have available right now. And I mean, most of it is kind of just content that showcases what you have for sale.
Gotcha. So are you still on Etsy, or do you have your own website now so that Etsy is not taking, the 10% that they take?
So I still have both. I think both still kind of have a place. So I have my own website, galacticarmory.net, and but I also keep that Etsy store open. Etsy, for all the charges and increasing fees that they're doing, they still have pretty good SEO, which is going to be one of the biggest hurdles getting your name out there online. Search engine optimization, making sure that you show up at the top of the search lists when somebody types in a file or a print. And you could definitely do it on your own website, but Etsy does a lot of that for you. And I still make sales on Etsy, and oftentimes it drives a lot of customers to my own website after they make the first purchase and the first impression.
Gotcha. So what else is working today in terms of marketing? Is it still primarily YouTube, or are you using what other terms of social media are you using?
So right now, like TikToks are really hot. That YouTube video that you mentioned that was blowing up wasn't originally a TikTok that I posted on.
No kidding.
Yeah, YouTube Shorts. And I don't even know why that tutorial or that clip went viral. Honestly, it's like one of the weirder ones that I expected, and it happened weeks after the fact that I uploaded it.
Uncle Jesse and Frank say the same thing. You'll never know what's going to go viral.
Yeah, so that's what I focus on a lot now, is making those short 1-minute clips, because then you could post it to TikTok, you could post it to Instagram Reels, and you could post it to YouTube Shorts. Everybody's trying to be TikTok right now with adding in like short 1-minute videos. And so if you make one TikTok video, you could post it to 2-3 other places. And so maybe a video goes viral on TikTok, but doesn't go viral on YouTube. And sometimes it's the opposite. You can never really tell.
Yeah, I agree, man. You'll never know what you post, and you put there is Jesus take the wheel. It's over. Like, you don't know, man.
Sometimes it's 10 videos ago, you're like, why am I spiking in traffic right now? And it's this random video that you didn't think would get any views. And for a while, it never gets views.
I agree. Well, one of my interviews a few weeks ago just started spiking for no apparent reason. Just poof, it went up. And I was like, what? Like, I mean, it was a great interview. It was he was making $4,000 a month using selling car parts, and just poof, even the guy messaged me, go, hey man, I'm #1 on your recent videos. I said, I know, I don't know what happened.
Nice.
You'll never know. As far as virality goes, there's no way to tell. And
a lot of people like to try and game the algorithm, to get more views. I try not to focus too much on that, just because you'll never know what's going to go viral. You might as well just try and make good content that you enjoy making and that you feel is good.
I agree. And
let the rest sort itself out.
Yeah. So, dude, that's it for me, man. Let's wrap it up with your #1 tip for anyone who wants to start their own 3D printing business.
My number one tip would be to just jump in. Like I said earlier, the barrier to entry to 3D printing is very low and for profit. So even if you don't sell a thing, you still have a 3D printer that has value and you could still make a lot of cool stuff. But you let that traffic, and if you have a lot of desire for sales, you let that drive kind of how many more printers you get and where the direction takes. But you got to make the first step. You got to jump in.
You got to jump. Just
Mhm.
jump. Because if you don't jump, you'll never know.
And a lot of
Dude,
us guys did this as a hobby,
yeah.
just on the side. So it
Yep.
is one of the ultimate side hustles, in my opinion.
I agree, man. Like, if y'all stay, Aaron and I got to chat for a little bit. We're going to add it to the bonus content. We're going to talk about jumping in and when we went full time, and just that stuff. So wait for the bonus content. But that's it for this episode. As always, if you guys stay to the very, 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 very end, I'll give you your own product idea so you can start your own 3D printing business. And today's product idea are action figures. Yes, you can 3D print action figures. There is, I believe, a Patreon or a company that is selling the files for 3D printed action figures, and they articulate really, really
Mhm.
well. Actually, have you seen those, Aaron?
Yeah, I've seen some of those, and the
They're
articulation is
really
really good.
nice.
Yeah.
And so there's so many things you guys can do just with that file alone, right? Who can you articulate and make an action figure of, right? The best ideas come from the question, what if? And let your mind go. What if this? Can you make that? That's how you guys start. So that's it for me. Again, all of Aaron's link is going to be in the description below if you're on YouTube, and if you're on your favorite podcast player, it's in the show notes. And Aaron, dude, great talk, man. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you so much. Happy to be here. Now,
All right,
let's
man.
get to some juicy stuff.
All right. For this shit. So let's talk about going full time, man. So you went full time in 2020?
Yeah, so
During the freaking pandemic, you brave asshole.
it's okay. It was pretty crazy. So yeah, jumped ship in May. So I'd been in quarantine for about a month, and I was running all the printers while I was, working remotely. I was like, yeah, this is great. I love doing this. And I feel bad saying it, but COVID was probably the catalyst that jump started the business. If you think about it, everybody was at home. They couldn't go out. They couldn't leave. So they were looking for
Yes.
hobbies. And
No, I agree. I made a lot of money during COVID.
a lot of people picked up 3D printing as a hobby. You could
Mhm.
definitely tell that the community just exploded during COVID and during quarantine.
Chris, a tiny machine sold out.
Yeah, he's always sold out of the stuff that I need. I'm like, good for him.
Yeah, man. Good dude. Are you in Texas too? No, you're East Coast, right?
No, I'm Midwest. I'm in Iowa.
Oh, damn. You are in the middle of
Middle of
freaking
nowhere.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Dude. Hey, so tell me about when you went full time. How scary was that?
It was insanely scary. Luckily I had my wife that her job provided health insurance, which was the big,
Lucky,
question.
bro. Nice.
That took a lot of, dread and fear out of the equation. But those first 2 weeks after I'd quit my job, I had nightmares. I had sleepless nights. I felt sick a lot of the time. And there was just all this nervous energy. But I told myself I'd give myself 1 year. I, can come back to my job if I need to, but I'd give myself 1 year to try it out full time, to try out 3D printing and selling props and all that. And never looked back.
It's just one of those things where you're just like, look, if it doesn't work out, I can always get a job.
Mm-hmm.
You have a good resume, dude. I mean,
yeah.
you know
So
what I
I
mean? You have
had
skills that are
fallbacks.
high in demand,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But
So
I knew that if I didn't try now, I probably would never. So I'm like, let me give myself this amount of time to just try it out. If it fails by the end of that, I'll go back to my job, but I'll, work easy knowing that I give it a shot.
yeah, man. I remember when I left for a month, dude. I was so scared.
Yeah.
I was
And
spooked.
looking back, I had no idea what I was doing. like all the aspects of running a business and all that. I was absolutely clueless. And I think analysis paralysis is what gets a lot of people. They want to know everything
It's
about
real,
running a
dude.
business before they start. The secret is you just got to start and figure it out along the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
it
Everybody.
definitely helps a lot,
Who was
but
what? When was it that I said it? I believe in one of my videos. If your launch is perfect, you started too late.
yeah, yeah, that's
If your
good.
launch is perfect, you started too late.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
there is no such thing as a perfect launch.
you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna, you know, have bad days, and you're gonna have good days, but at least you're having those days.
Yeah, man. I remember someone had a previous order, and it was from my old website. So I had to go back because it used to be on
Mm-hmm.
Wix, right? What
Yeah,
platform are you on?
I'm kind of in between Shopify and BigCommerce right now.
Okay. So I was on Wix, right?
Mm-hmm.
And um his order was from the Wix days. So
Mm-hmm.
I went back and I gave him his order and I saw my old website and I was like, holy shit.
It's so ugly. Mine did not look great either.
Dude, I
Like
was like, oh my God, who made this? Bro, I was like, I
I
made this.
I
I
look
was
back
like,
at
I
my old
presented
YouTube.
this like it was fucking presentable.
I look back at my old YouTube videos, like my very first ones. Awful. I am so bad.
Bro,
It looked like it was filmed on one of a flip phone or something.
dude. I remember my first video. I put my because I recorded it on my phone. My entire business is built on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put my phone on what because I had a little Shih Tzu. So I
Okay.
took her kennel and that's where I put my phone.
It's like there's a
Bro,
lot of weird janky stuff behind the camera that a lot of people
dude, it's
don't see.
so
But
bad. The things people see on that they're framed that on YouTube. It's like, man, if y'all saw the behind the scenes of this shit.
when I was in my one bedroom apartment, I was, because winters in the Midwest are brutal. It's so cold outside. I was spray painting inside for 3, 4 months, and the carpet in there was just kind of black with spray paint
And
like
it was all
fumes and
sticky.
residue. And I did not get back my safety deposit on
I
that
bet not.
on
I
that
bet they probably
apartment.
charge you
No.
to replace that carpet.
Yeah, it was not good, but you know, oh well.
Dang, man. Bro, good talk, man. Good talk. We'll catch you later. I'll see you in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
If you guys are still watching the bonus content, which is always fun, make sure you guys join us in a 3D printed armor, weapon props, and statues group. Aaron hangs out in there. I hang out in there. That was my
Oh yeah.
original group. All of this stuff is just another side hustle for me.
That
So
was the first Facebook group I joined, was yours actually.
yeah.
Hmm.
Remember when you first? I think you joined that group when I first built it,
Hmm.
and you were there at a thousand, our first 1,000 people,
Hmm.
and then now we're at what 22,000.
Yeah. My coworker came over, is like, dude, you got to join this Facebook group. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And yeah,
Dope, man.
it rocks.
Hell yeah, man. All right, brother. We'll catch you in the next side, man.
All right. Thanks for having